Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you all very much for joining in for our Bhagavad Gita study session today. We'll start with the prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nidinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaur Dushe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Taralaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkrapatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram Harihi Om Tatsat Hare Krishna. So we are on the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Thank you all for joining in for our Bhagavad Gita study session today. We'll start with the 11th chapter. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this chapter 11 is talking about the universal form, right? Where Arjuna is asking Krishna to show the universal form. So in the purport, how Arjuna is a pure devotee of the Lord. He does not need to verify if Krishna is the Supreme Lord by asking him to show his universal form. So why does he ask Krishna to show the universal form? Right? Prabhupada gives a reason in the purport where Prabhupada is saying Arjuna is asking for Lord Sri Krishna to show his universal form so that in future nobody claims themselves to be God. Nobody cheats others that I am God. Right? Especially in South India, we know that almost in every other street we have a God. We have somebody who claims themselves as God, isn't it? They make some coins, they produce some powders, they do some magic, and then they claim themselves to be God. So that's why Prabhupada is saying, so as to ensure that in future nobody claims themselves to be God, right? And even if somebody claims themselves to be God, then the people can ask them to show their universal form. Right? Krishna lifted the Govardhan hill when he was just, 7 years old. Right? He lifted the entire Govardhan hill and stood like that for 7 days and 7 nights. Right? So these wonderful leelas are performed by Krishna, but some people, who want to misinterpret for themselves. Right? They take only some portions of Lord Krishna's leela, like Rasa leela, etc., and they want to imitate Krishna. That's why Prabhupada is saying, first we should understand the greatness of the Lord. Then we will not imitate the Lord. We will rather follow the Lord's instructions. So before we understand the sweetness of the Lord, which is captured in Canto 10 of Srimad Bhagavatam, we need to understand the greatness of the Lord. And what is the greatness of the Lord? The greatness of the Lord is how he defeated various demons when he was a couple of days old. Like he killed Putana. In fact, gave Putana the status of a mother in the spiritual world, isn't it? So, and then he killed so many demons. Right? So, in all those past times, we understand the greatness of the Supreme Lord. Right? Arjuna also declared it in chapter 10. He said, Ahustvam Rishihas Sarva Devarishi Naradastata Asito Devalo Vyasaha Swayam Chaiva Bravishme Param Brahma Parandhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. So Arjuna has already declared that Krishna, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Param Brahma Parandhama. Right? You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are the Supreme Abode. Right? Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. Right? You are the extremely pure. Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum. Right? All the Devas, they take shelter of you. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And not only are you telling me this, but various other rishis also, like Asita, Devala, Vyasa, they also told me the same thing, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And now you're also telling me the same thing. That's what is Ahustvam Rishiyah Sarva Deva Rishi Naradasthatha Asito Devalo Vyasaha Swayam Chaiva Bravishme. Swayam Chaiva Bravishme means you're also telling me the same thing. You yourself are telling me what I've already heard from all of the sages. So there is no question of ambiguity in the mind of Arjuna when he's asking Krishna to show the universal form. So why is he asking? So that, like we discussed in the beginning of the session, like Arjuna is asking for all of us, so that we don't get bewildered. Who is the Lord? We don't get confused when somebody claims themselves to be God, right? I am only the incarnation, right? In this Kali Yuga, right? Even everywhere actually, but especially in South India, we see that in every street there is an incarnation of God, right? Who has learned some kind of magic. So as to not get bewildered by such people who claim themselves to be God, Arjuna is asking Lord Shri Krishna to display his universal form. So Prabhupada tells in the purport, anybody who claims themselves to be God, we should ask them to show the universal form, right? It is not possible for any imposter or anybody who claims to be Bhagavan to actually show the Vishwarupa of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They may at most expand themselves into 8 forms, right? If they are expert in Ashtanga Yoga, etc., they can only expand themselves to 8 forms, right? Beyond that, they cannot do anything, right? But people get bewildered, right? Even if somebody expands into 8 forms, they are already falling Sashtanga Pranam, right? Oh my God, this is a very powerful personality. This must be God. So those people who allow themselves to be bewildered by some kind of magic trick, right? Prabhupada says the Lord actually covers himself by the Yoga Maya, right? So we should be very intelligent. Who is God, right? Who is Bhagavan? Who is God? Is very clearly laid down in the Vedic scriptures. Nobody can become Bhagavan by performing Ashtanga Yoga, by perfecting some yogic process. Nobody can become the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord, like Prabhupada says in a lecture, the Supreme Lord is the Supreme right from the time he was born as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva. Like he was born as the son of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maya, right? Because from day one, he started exhibiting his powers, right? Nobody can become God by performing any kind of magic, right? Or gimmicks, like Prabhupada says. So on that context, let us see what is the form that Lord Shri Krishna shows to Arjuna, and how this form is not the eternal form that is there in the spiritual world, how it is a temporary form. And it is especially to ensure that people don't get bewildered by this so-called people who claim themselves as incarnations. All right, so let's go ahead. Chapter number 11, entitled The Universal Form. Okay, Vrishabhanu Kanya Mataji, please go ahead. Devotees would like to read, can raise your hand. Go ahead, Mataji. The Universal Form. Vrishabhanu Kanya Mataji, are you able to unmute yourself? Okay, Sridhar Prabhu, are you able to unmute yourself?
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu, go ahead. Text 1.
Hare Krishna. Arjuna
Vacha. Yes.
Madanugraya paramam guhyamatma yam sangidam yatva yogatam vasantena mohoyam vigatu mama. Hare Krishna. Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna said, Mad Anugrahaya, just to show me favor, Pranam, Supreme, Pranamam, Supreme, Guhyam, confidential. Paramam, supreme, guhyam, confidential subject, ahatyatma, spiritual, samsidam, in matter of, yet what, twa, by you, uktam, set, vacha, word, tena, by that, mohana, illusion, I am this, Vignath is removed, mama, my Vignath is removed, mama, my Hare Krishna Dandot Pranam. Translation by Prabhupada. Prabhupada K. Jai. Arjuna said, by hearing the instruction, you have kindly given me about this most confidential spiritual subject. My illusion has now been dispelled. Perfect. This chapter reveals Krishna as the cause of all causes. He is even the cause of the Mahavishnu from whom the material universe emanate. Krishna is not an incarnation. He is the source of all incarnations. That has been completely explained in last chapter. Now, as far as Arjuna is concerned, he said that his illusion is over. This means that Arjuna no longer thinks of Krishna as a mere human being, as a friend of his, but as a source of everything. Arjuna is very enlightened and is glad that he had such a great friend as Krishna. But now he is thinking that although he may accept Krishna as the source of everything, others may not. So in order to establish Krishna's divinity for all, he is requesting Krishna in this chapter to show his universal form. Actually, when one sees the universal form of Krishna, one becomes frightened, like Arjuna. But Krishna is so kind that after showing it, he covers himself again into his original form. Arjuna agrees to what Krishna has several times said. Krishna is speaking to him just for his benefit. So Arjuna acknowledged that all this is happening to him by Krishna's grace. He is now convinced that Krishna is the cause of all causes and is present in everyone's heart as the super soul. Hare Krishna. Dandot Pranam Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much. Dandot Pranam. So here there is a very beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam which says that Krishna is the origin. Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Ete chamsha kala pumshaha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. He is the original supreme personality of Godhead. Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. That Krishna expands into various incarnations who comes in various yugas to satisfy various purposes. Right? The predominant 10 incarnations have been explained by Jayadeva Goswami. Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha, Vamana, Parashurama, Sri Rama, Balarama, Buddha and Kalki. Right? These are the predominant incarnations which are mentioned by Jayadeva Goswami. But in Bhagavatam it is said one cannot count the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord incarnates in as many forms as he desires to fulfill various purposes. Right? So if the Lord has to fulfill some purpose, he takes the form of an incarnation. But the source of all the incarnations is Lord Sri Krishna himself. That's why Ete Chamshaha Kala Pumshaha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. The Swayam Bhagavan is Krishna only. Even in Krishna it is said the Swayam Bhagavan is Krishna of Vrindavan. He is the most complete. The most complete Krishna is Krishna in Vrindavan Dham. Then more complete, a little less. More complete is Krishna of Dwaraka. And a little more less complete is Krishna of Mathura. Why? Because in Mathura it is tinged with more of Aishwarya than Madhurya. Right? The Madhurya increases as one moves from Mathura to Dwaraka, where the queens of Lord Shri Krishna have this Madhurya Ras. But even greater than that is Krishna in Vrindavan Dham. Why? Because Parakiya Vavejaha Brajate Prachar. Right? What is that? This beautiful song written by Vaishnava Acharyas. Right? Which glorifies Jaya Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Vrindavana, Shri Govinda Gopinatha, Madana Mohana. So these names, Govinda, Gopinatha, Madana Mohan, they are all names given to Krishna in Vrindavan. Because in Vrindavan, Krishna is just a cowherd boy. Nobody takes Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? Everybody thinks Krishna is just an ordinary person. Right? So in that way, when everybody approach Lord Shri Krishna, there is no Aishwarya at all. There is no Aishwarya Bhav at all. There is completely only madhurya ras, right? What is that? Parakiya bhave jaha prajete prachar. Why? Because it is parakiya bhav. It is not swakiya bhav. Swakiya bhav is the madhurya ras, that is between a husband and a wife, right? Whereas parakiya bhav is between like a boyfriend and a girlfriend, right? So it's the very highest rasa. It is abominable in this material world, but in the spiritual world, this is the highest level of rasa. That is why this Krishna, who is the origin of all the incarnations, is himself most complete in his original form as the Krishna of Vrindavan, right? And Brahma also says in Brahma Samhita, Ishwaraha Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govindaha Sarva Karana Karanam. That Krishna is the source of all sources. He is the cause of all causes, right? Ishwaraha Parama Krishna. We are all controllers. We all control certain things in life. But Krishna is the controller of all the controllers. Ishwaraha Parama Krishna. And he is Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Right? He is completely eternal and full of knowledge and full of bliss. Anadir Adir Govindaha. He is called Govinda because he gives pleasure to the cows and the senses. And he does not have any origin. Anadir, because he is the origin of everything. Adir Govindaha Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes. So that is what is declared by Arjuna. Even as he is asking Krishna to show his universal form, he is declaring to Krishna, I already know that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but can you please show me the universal form? And Prabhupada explains here that it is for the people in general that Arjuna is asking Krishna to show this universal form. Okay, let's move ahead. Text number 2. Okay, Vrishabhanu Kanya Mataji, are you there?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna,
Yes.
Dandavat Pranam. Bhavapyo hi bhutanam sruto vistarasho maya tvattah kamalapatraksha mahatmam api chavyayam. Synonyms. Sorry, translation, Mataji.
Synonyms.
Okay.
Bhava, appearance.
Bhavaha, appearance. Apyaya, disappearance. He, certainly. Bhutanam, of all living entities. Shrutau, have been heard. Vistarasaha, in detail. Maya, by me. Tattaha, from you. Kamala Patraksha, O lotus-eyed one. Mahatmyam, glories. Api, also. Cha, and. Avyayam, inexhaustible. Translation by Sri Prabhupada ki Jai. O lotus-eyed one, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity and have realized your inexhaustible glories. Purport. Arjun addressed Lord Krishna as lotus-eyed. Krishna's eyes appear just like the petals of lotus flower out of his joy. For Krishna has assured him in a previous chapter, Aham Krishnasya Jagatah Prabhavam Pralayas Tatha. I am the source of the appearance and disappearance of his entire material manifestation. Arjuna has heard of his Arjuna has heard of this from the Lord in detail. Arjuna further knows that in spite of his being the source of all appearance and disappearance, he is aloof from them. As the Lord has said in the 9th chapter, he is all pervading, yet he is not personally present everywhere. That is the inconceivable opulence of Krishna, which Arjun admits that he has thoroughly understood. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Matha parataram na anyat kinchit asti dhananjaya. Right? Krishna tells in several places, right? Sutre gani manaiva. Right? In so many places, Krishna says that I am the thread that holds together all the planets of this universe. If all of these planets are actually working in a proper way, right? We don't find that each of the planets are clashing with each other, right? On the roads, we always find that there is some accident or the other that is always happening. In the newspaper, when we open the newspaper, right? In every place there is some accident that has happened, some collision has happened, right? But we find that in the prakriti that is created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we don't find such accidents. We don't find Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, they're all colliding with each other. The sun is not rising on a particular day, or the moon is not rising in the evening, right? Have you ever encountered that? We have never encountered that. Why? Because that is administered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and through his empowered agents, who are all devotees of the Lord, who are all pure devotees of the Lord, right? Who perfected their life. They are the administrators of the universe. So that is why we don't find that, oh, today the sun is not risen, right? Or today the sun is not set, right? The whole day it's going to be 24 hours day, right? Have you ever encountered like that? We have never encountered, right? Why? Because things are working meticulously without any problem, because the Lord is in charge, the Lord is behind it, and all of the the Lord's Bahiranga Shakti, right? The Durga Devi, who's the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. She herself is so powerful. So everything is happening in this material world under the supervision of Durga Devi, who herself is very perfect in her service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. So in this way, Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti Suyate Characharam. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Maya Adhyakshena, I am the controller. Right? If Durga Devi is performing the duties, right? But I am the controller, right? So there cannot be anything that can go wrong, right? Because Krishna is everything is happening within the ambit of Lord Krishna's energy, right? So there cannot be anything that can go wrong. Suyate Characharam, right? That means everything is getting manifested, everything is getting annihilated under the Nigrahani, like they say, under the supervision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Aham Kritsnasya Jagataha Prabhavaha Pralayas That means the various universes get created and they get annihilated, and there is no issue. Everything is happening perfectly well. Why? Because Krishna's energy is operating on all of them, and Krishna is behind. Krishna is the source, or Krishna is the Aham Bija Pradapita. That Krishna is the source, or the Moola, or the root of all of those things that are happening, and everything is happening by the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although he is not personally present, overlooking things, he is like the CEO of the company, right? He is ultimately responsible for everything, yet he does not come to office every day to do the day-to-day work, right? He is happily doing his own business, whatever he likes to do, but he's appointed certain responsible people who take care of the day-to-day affairs of the business. What is the business here we're talking about? The business is the running of this material universes, including secondary creation, from the secondary creation till annihilation. Yes, Brahma, Shiva, various demigods, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Agni, all of them take care of everything, right? And does not require personal intervention of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All right, let's move to text number 3. Rajneesh Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanat Pranam. Text number 3.
Text number 3. Et me tad yathath somatmanam parameshwara drashtumichhami te roop naishwaram purushottam. Synonym. Evam, thus, itat, this, yatha, as it is, atah, have spoken, swam, you, atama, atmanam, yourself, Brahma, Ishwar, O Supreme Lord, Drashtum, to see, Ichhami, I wish, say your Rupam, form, Ashwaram, divine, Pursa Uttama, O best of personality. Translation by Sri Prabhupada, Sri Prabhupada, O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position, as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. Purport. The Lord said that because he entered into the material universe by his personal representation, the cosmic manifestation has been made possible and is going on. Now, as far as Arjuna is concerned, he is inspired by statements of Krishna, but in order to convince others in in the future, who may think that Krishna is an ordinary person, Arjuna desires to see him actually in his universal form, to see how he is acting from within the universe, although he is apart from it. Arjuna's addressing the Lord as Purushottama is also significant since the Lord is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is present within Arjuna himself. Therefore, he knows the desire of Arjuna and he can understand that Arjuna has no special desire to see him in his universal form. For Arjuna is completely satisfied to see him in his personal form of Krishna. But the Lord can understand also that Arjuna wants to see the universal form to convince others. Arjuna did not have any personal desire for confirmation. Krishna also understands that Arjuna wants to see the universal form to set a criteria for the future. For in the future, there would be so many impostors who would pose themselves as incarnations of God. The people, therefore, should be careful. One who claims to be Krishna should be prepared to show his universal form from same people. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. So this is what we discussed in the beginning of the session, right? Why does Krishna actually why does Arjuna actually ask Krishna to show the universal form, right? So that in future, the imposters or those who claim themselves to be God don't actually succeed in duping people or in bewildering people to think that they themselves are God. But here, Prabhupada again reinstates here that Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Purushottama. Purusha means person, Uttama means supreme. So Krishna is the supreme personality of God, and Arjuna is very clear about it. But why is he asking Krishna to show the universal form? So that in future nobody is duped. Yeah. So this is what we discussed. Okay, let's move on. Text number 4. Okay, Gopi Geet Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Mataji. Yes.
Manyase yadi tadachakyam maya drishtumiti prabhu yogeshvara tato me tvam darshayat manamavyam. Manase, you think, yadi if that sakyam is able maya by me drashtum to be seen, iti does prabhu, O Lord, yoga ishvara, O Lord of all mystic power, tatah then me, unto me, tvam you, darshaya show, atmanam yourself, avyayam eternal. Translation: if you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unlimited universal self. Purport: it is said that one can neither see, hear, understand, nor perceive the Supreme Lord Krishna by the material senses. But if one is engaged in loving transcendental service to the Lord from the beginning, then one can see the Lord by revelation. Every living entity is only a spiritual spark. Therefore, it is not possible to see or to understand the Supreme Lord. Arjuna, as a devotee, does not depend on his rather, he admits his limitation as a living entity and acknowledge Krishna's inestimable position. Arjuna could understand that for a living entity, it is not possible to understand the unlimited infinite. It is infinite reveals himself. If the infinite reveals himself, then it is possible to understand the nature of the infinite by the grace of the infinite. The word Yogeshwar is also very significant here because the Lord has inconceivable power. If he likes, he can reveal himself by his grace, although he is unlimited. Therefore, Arjuna pleads for the inconceivable grace of Krishna. He doesn't give Krishna orders. Krishna is not obliged to reveal himself unless one surrenders only in Krishna consciousness and engage in devotional service. Thus, it is not possible for persons who depend on the strength of their mental speculations to see Krishna. Hare Krishna.
So, we should not try to see God, right? Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, we should not try to see God. We should work in such a way that God wants to see us, right? So, he also gave the example. I think Prabhupada gives the example in one of his lectures Prabhupada is saying that, for example, if I think we've discussed it also several times in our sessions also. Like if an employee wants to meet the CEO, then the CEO will tell, right, he has to approach the secretary of the CEO. Then the CEO might tell the secretary, I don't have any time for the next 6 months. So give an appointment after 6 months, right? So in this way, it's not possible to meet the CEO. But however, if this employee works in such a way that there is huge profits, there is huge sales for the organization because of this employee, then what does the CEO tell? The CEO tells the secretary, I want to meet this employee, right? And then the employee gets to choose what time he wants to meet the CEO. He will tell, I have some other plan today, right? Probably next week at this time I'm free. I can meet the CEO. And then the CEO will make some time on that particular day and meet the employee. So the situations have completely turned, and it is becoming easy. And the employee can see the CEO whom he wanted to so much meet now at his own terms. Why? Because he did not try to try to meet the CEO by other means. What did he do? He simply performed his duty to the best of his ability. And then what happened? If he is able to please the CEO will automatically come to see him, isn't it? That is what we need to do, right? We need to work in such a way. We need to perform our devotional service in such a way, right, that the Lord wants to see us. And if the Lord wants to see us, who can stop us from meeting the Lord, right? But if we want to see the Lord, right, then we have to wait, right? Mother Yashoda had to run behind Krishna so long. And then when Krishna's mercy comes, that time only we can see the Lord, or we can interact with the Lord. But we can always perform our devotional service in such a way that the Lord wants to see us, right? So we always have to try not to see the Lord, but to be seen by the Lord. Our behavior, our actions, our desires should be in such a way that the Lord wants to see us. And then who can stop us, right? If Krishna wants to see somebody, who can stop Krishna? If Krishna wants to interact with somebody, who can stop Krishna, right? But if we want to interact with the Lord, there may be so many obstacles, right? With our own eyes, we cannot see the Lord. Atha Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahim indriyahi sevon mukhehi jivadav swayam eva suratyadaha. The only process to see the Lord is to develop that the eyes of love, right? Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadaiva hrideshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achintya gunaswarupam govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. We need to develop the prema anjana, the kind of kajal that we apply, right? To see the Lord, we need to have the kajal of love, right? How do we develop the kajal of love? We develop the kajal of love only when the Lord is merciful and the Lord wants to reveal himself to us, right? That is why Bilva Mangal Thakur, right? Bilva Mangal Thakur, he was completely blind, but he could see Krishna directing him, right? Holding his hand and taking him to Vrindavan Dham, right? So in this way, and Surdas, right? Surdas also was a great devotee of Krishna, right? He was also completely blind, and Krishna used to play with him, right? Holding his hand, running away like that, right? So in this way, even a blind person can see Krishna if Krishna wants to reveal himself to a so-called blind person, because these two eyes are not the qualification to see Krishna, right? What is the qualification? Love, prema anjana. As long as we don't have that love in our eyes, which comes from the heart, right, we cannot be able to see Krishna. However, if we engage in devotional service, Sebon Mukhehi Jiva Adau, which starts with the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then Swayameva Suratyadaha, the Lord himself will reveal himself to us. When the Lord is revealing himself to us, then we don't need this material eyes. The Lord will reveal himself to us, through our material eyes also, maybe sometimes, or indirectly in our heart, whichever way the Lord wants to reveal himself to us. We will understand the Lord. We will actually see the Lord. Not with our material eyes, but we'll be able to understand and perceive the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we should work in such a way that the Lord wants to give his darshan to us. The Lord wants to see us, rather than try to see the Lord by other external ways. That won't work. Yeah. Okay, let's move ahead. Text number 5. Sudha Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam, yes.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Pasya me Partha Rupani Shatasota Sahasrashaha Nana Vidani Divyani Nana Varna Pritini Cha. Synonyms. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, said, Pasya, just see, me, my, Partha, O son of Pritha, Rupani, forms, Shatasha, hundreds, Ata, also, Sahasrasaha, thousands, Nana Vidhani, variegatedness, Divyani, divine, Nana, variegated, Varna, colors, Akritini forms, cha also. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, O son of Pritha, see now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of varied, divine, and multicolored forms. Purport. Arjuna wanted to see Krishna in his universal form, which, although a transcendental form, is just manifested for the cosmic manifestation and is therefore subject to the temporary time of this material nature. As the material nature is manifested and not manifested, similarly, this universal form of Krishna is manifested and non manifested. It is not eternally situated in the spiritual sky like Krishna's other forms. As far as a devotee is concerned, he is not eager to see the universal form. But because Arjuna wanted to see Krishna in this way, Krishna reveals this form. This universal form is not possible to be seen by any ordinary man. Krishna must give one the power to see it. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So even to see the universal form is not even the permanent form. It's not an eternal form of the spiritual world. Krishna is personally present in his Shyam Sundar form, in his two-handed form. Yet Arjuna is asking to see the four-handed form. And to even for Arjuna to see the four-handed form, Lord Krishna had to give him the Jnana Chakshusha. Lord Krishna had to give him the special abilities for to be seen in that four-handed form. Right? So to see any form of the Lord, we need the mercy of the Lord. We cannot see the Lord by our own endeavor. We cannot see the Lord with our material eyes. But we can see the Lord when the Lord wants to reveal himself to us. Right? The Krishna has to give the power. And Krishna will give the power only to those who are dependent on the Lord. Sarvadharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. Right? Those who surrender unto me completely without any personal motives, right? Krishna is saying, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, giving up everything. Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja, exclusive surrender. Krishna is not happy with, us going to this Devata for this Devata for this, and also surrendering to Krishna. No. Krishna wants exclusive surrender only at his lotus feet. So in that way, when we surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, what does Krishna say? Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo, I will protect you from all your sinful reactions. Right? Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha, and I will lead you to liberation. What is liberation? What is mukti? Mukti hitvanyata rupam swarupena vyavasthitihi. To be situated in our constitutional position and to serve the Lord is the greatest kind of liberation. And that can be given only by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. Cannot be given by the Devatas, cannot be given by Lord Shiva, cannot be given by Brahma. It can be only given by Vishnu. It can only be given by Lord Sri Krishna, who's the source of all the Vishnus. All right, let's go ahead. Text number 6. Okay, Shobha Mataji, go ahead. Please unmute yourself, Mataji. Okay, Pashyadityan Vasundara. Yeah, go ahead.
Am I audible, Mataji? Yeah.
Yes, go ahead, Mataji.
Pashyadityan Vasundara Ashvinau Maruthastata Bahoni Adrashta Purvani Pashyat Acharyani Bharata. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Should I read the synonyms?
Yes, please.
Hare Bol. Pashya, see, Adityan, the 12 sons of Aditi, Vasun, 8 Vasus, Rudran, the 11 forms of Rudra, Ashvino, the 2 Ashvinis, Maruthaha, 49 Maruts, demigods of the wind, Tata also, Bahuni, many Adrishta that you have not seen, Purvani before, Pashya, see, Ascharyani, all the wonders, Bharata, O best of the Bharatas. Translation. O best of the Bharata, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumaras, and all other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard of before. Purport. Even though Arjuna was a personal friend of Krishna and the most advanced of learned men, it was still not possible for him to know everything about Krishna. Here it is stated that humans have neither heard nor known of all these forms and manifestations. Now Krishna reveals these wonderful forms. Hari Bol. Thank you, Mataji. Pranams.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, what does Arjuna see in the universal form? Different manifestations of so many Adityas, right? So, in this way, what is happening? Krishna is seeing Arjuna is seeing Lord Shri Krishna actually exhibiting his various forms as the Adityas, right? As the what happened? One second. Yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah. So he was showing various forms as Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumaras, and all the other demigods. So in this way, Arjuna was seeing something that he's never seen before. So Arjuna is thinking, oh my God, what is this form? Right? Arjuna is a pure devotee of the Lord. And Arjuna is getting bewildered. Right? What is this form of the Lord I have never seen before? Right? Arjuna knows that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, but he's never seen this form of the Lord. Right? Now, Arjuna, it is like the devotees don't like to see this universal form of the Lord because it's very frightening form. Right? Because it's so frightening and Arjuna is used to having this loving reciprocation with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he's really frightened. Oh my God, what is this form? I've never seen it before. So let's see what else Arjuna sees. Text number 7. Let's go on to text number 7. Okay, Shri Priya Mataji, go ahead. Text number 7.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams. Ihaikastam jagat krishnam pashyadya sacharacharam mama deha guna kesha yachan yatrashtum echyasi. Synonyms: Iha, in this; ekastam, in one place; jagat, the universe; kristam, completely; pashya, see; adya, immediately; sa, with; chara, the moving; acharam, the not moving; mama, my; dehe, in this body; gudakesha, O Arjuna; yet, that which; cha, also; anyat, other; drashtam, to see; chyasi, you wish. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you want to see in future. Everything moving and non-moving is here completely in one place. Purport: no one can see the entire universe while sitting in one place. When the most advanced scientist cannot see what is going on in other parts of the universe. But a devotee like Arjuna can see everything that exists in any part of the universe. Krishna gives him the power to see anything he wants to see, past, present, and future. Thus, by the mercy of Krishna, Arjuna is able to see everything. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna, right? So whatever we are able to see, it is only when the Lord reveals it to us, right? It is not that we see with our own eyes whatever we want to see, right? Whatever we are able to see, it is only when the Lord himself reveals it to us. That's what we've been studying, isn't it? Right? Na bhavet grahim indriyahi. By our own senses, we cannot perceive, we cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, if we serve the Lord, then we will be able to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, now let's move on to text number 8. Okay, let me share my screen now. Yeah. Okay, text number 8. Okay, Karpakavalli Mataji can go ahead. Yes.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Natumam Sakesha Dastam Anyava Savachakshusa Divyam Dadami Ye Chakshu Pasyami Yogam Aishwaram. Synonyms: na, never; two, but; mam, me; shakshesha, able; drastam, to see; anyana, with these; eva, certainly; sava, sakshusa, your own eyes; divyam, divine; dadami, I give; they, to you; sakshush, eyes; pasya, see; me, my; yogam, aishwaram, inconceivable mystic power. Translation by Prabhupada ki jai. But you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore, I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence. Purport: my pure devotee does not like to see Krishna in any form except his form with two hands. A devotee must see his universal form by his grace, not with his mind, but with spiritual eyes. To see the universal form of Krishna, Arjuna is told not to change his mind, but his vision. The universal form of Krishna is not very important. That will be clear in subsequent verses. Yet, because Arjuna wanted to see it, the Lord gives him the particular vision required to see that universal form. Devotees who are correctly situated in transcendental relationship with Krishna are attracted by loving features, not by godless display of opulences. Playmates of Krishna, the friends of Krishna, and the parents of Krishna never want Krishna to show his opulences. They were so immersed in pure love that they do not even know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In their loving exchange, they forgot that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that the boys who play with Krishna are all highly pious souls, and after many births, they are able to play with Krishna. Such boys do not know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They take him as a personal friend. Therefore, Sakadev Goswami recites this verse. Iditam sadam
ब्रह्म सुखानुभूत्या दास्यं गतानां परदैवतेन मायाश्रितानां नरधारकेण साकं विझरूकृतपुण्यपुञ्जा.
Here, the Supreme Lord, who is considered the impersonal Brahman by great sages, the Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotees, and a product of material nature by ordinary men. Now, these boys who have performed many pious activities in their past lives are playing with that Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srimad Bhagavatam 10.12.11. The fact is that the devotee is not concerned with seeing the Viswarupa, the universal form, but Arjuna wanted to see it to substantiate Krishna's statement so that in the future, people would understand that Krishna not only theoretically or philosophically presented himself as the Supreme, but actually presented himself as such to Arjuna. Arjuna must confirm this because Arjuna is the beginning of the Parampara system. Those who are actually interested in understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and who follow in the footsteps of Krishna should understand that Krishna not only theoretically presented himself as the Supreme, but actually revealed himself as the Supreme. The Lord gave Arjuna the necessary power to see his universal form because he knew that Arjuna did not particularly want to see it, as we have already explained. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. So we discussed this already, that Arjuna wanted to see not for himself, but for the people in general. Okay, Manasi Mataji, go ahead, text number 9.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Sanjaya Uvacha Evam Yuktva Tato Rajan Mahayogeshwaro Hari Darshayam Asaparthaya Paramam Rupam Aishwaram. Sanjaya Uvacha. Sanjay said, Evam, thus, Yuktva, saying, Tata, thereafter, Rajan, O King, Mahayoga Ishvara, the most powerful mystic, Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, Darshayaya, the Asa, showed Parthaya onto Arjun, Paramam, the divine, Rupam, Aishwaram, universal form. Translation by Shilpad Jai Shilpad. Sanjay said, O King, having spoken thus, the Supreme Lord of all mystic power, the personality of Godhead, displayed his universal form to Arjuna.
Continue, Mataji.
The next one also.
अनेकाद्भुत दर्शनम अनेक दिव्याभरणम दिव्यनेको जटायुधम दिव्यमाल्याम्बरधरम दिव्यगन्धानुलेपनम सर्व आश्चर्यमयं देवम अनंतं विश्वतोमुखम. You want to read, Mataji? Manasi Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Go ahead.
Vaktra, mouths, Nayanam, eyes, Aneka, various, Adbhuta, wonderful, Darshanam, sights, Aneka, many, Divya, divine, Abharanam, ornaments, Divya, divine, Aneka, Abharanam, ornaments, Divya, divine, Aneka, various, Udayatal, uplifted, Ayudham, weapons, Divya, divine, Malya, garlands, Ambara, dresses, Dharam, wearing, Divya, divine, Gandha, fragrances, Anulepanam, smeared with, Sarva, all, Ascharyamayam, wonderful, Devam, shining, Antam, unlimited, Vishwata, Mukham, all pervading. Arjun saw in that universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. The form was decorated with many celestials ornaments and bore many divine appraised
Appraised
weapons.
weapons.
He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared all over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all expanding. Purport. In these two verses, the repeated use of the word many indicates that there was no limit to the number of hands, mouths, legs, and other manifestations Arjun was seeing. These manifestations were distributed throughout the universe. But by the grace of the Lord, Arjun could see them while sitting in one place. That was to the uh, inconceivable potency of Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Aneka.
Krishna.
Aneka is a word that is actually reflecting many, many, many. Aneka Adbhuta. Right? Aneka means many, many wonderful forms. He is seeing so many wonderful sights in front of him. Right, Arjuna? That he is completely bewildered. He is completely astonished. He's completely surprised and stunned. He's just looking like that. Oh, my Lord is showing me this entire Vishwarupa, which I've never seen in the past. And this is not the form that Arjuna wanted to see. So he was bewildered. He was more fearful than he was happy. Okay, let's move ahead. Text number 12. Okay. Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhave Yugapadhuttitha Yadi Bhasadrishi Sasyad Bhasastasya Mahatmanaha. Okay, Shri Priya Mataji, go ahead.
Divi. Hare Krishna
Synonyms.
Mataji. Synonyms.
Hare Krishna.
Divi in the sky. Surya of suns, Sahasra of many thousands, Bhavet they were, Yugapat simultaneously, Uthita present, Yadi if, Baha light, Sad Rishi like that, Sa that, Shyat might be, Vasaha effulgence, Tasya of him, Maha Atmana the great Lord. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. Purport. When Arjuna saw the indescribable yet Sanjaya is trying to give a mental picture of that great revelation to Dhritarashtra. Neither Sanjaya nor Dhritarashtra were present, but Sanjaya, by the grace of Vyasa, would see whatever happened. Thus, he now compares the situation as far as it can be understood to an imaginable phenomena, that is, thousands of suns. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So, very wonderful, isn't it? It's hundreds of thousands of suns. This is whose words? This is Sanjaya's words. Sanjaya is not even seeing. In fact, Sanjaya is not even in the battlefield, but yet he can visualize what is going on in the battlefield with closed eyes. Right? So that's why with this material eyes, we don't require a material eyes to see everything. Right? The transcendental form of the Lord, his leelas and everything can be seen even without material eyes. But one needs to have the eyes with love to see the passings of the Lord. And Sanjaya, how did he get that chakshusha or that divine drishti? How did he get that divine drishti? Because he pleased Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is the literal incarnation of Lord. So when we please the Lord or his devotees, then what happens? We will be able to see the Lord because the Lord becomes pleased with us. Okay, let's move ahead. These are all small purports. We can quickly, we'll complete till 15th verse today. Okay, Manasi Mataji, you can read again. Okay.
Yes,
Text number 13. Yes.
13, okay. Tatraikasthanam jagat krishnam
Tatraikastam jagat krishnam pravibhaktam anekadha apashyad deva devasya sharire pandavastada.
Tatraikasthanam jagat krishnam pravibhaktam anekadha apashya deva devasya sharire pandavastada. Tatra, there, eka sthan, in one place, jagat, the universe, krishnam, complete, pravibhaktam, divided, anekada, onto many, apashyat, could see, Deva Devasya, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sharire, in the universal form, Pandava, Arjuna Tada, at that time. At that time, Arjun could see in the universal form of the Lord the unlimited expansions of the universe situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands. Purport by Shilpa Jai Shilpa. The word Tatra there is very significant. It indicates that both Arjun and Krishna was sitting on the chariot when Arjun saw the universal form. Others on the battlefield could not see this form because Krishna gave the vision only to Arjun. Arjun could see in the body of Krishna many thousands of planets. As we learn from Vedic scriptures, there are many universes and many planets. Some of them are made of earth, some are made of gold, some are made of jewels, some are very great, some are not so great, etc. Sitting on his chariot, Arjuna could see all these, but no one could understand what was going on between Arjun and Krishna.
Yeah. So it is not that everybody in the battlefield was able to see the universal form of Krishna. No. So in the previous verse also it is mentioned how Krishna gave this this chakshusha or this specific vision to our Arjuna, and only because of that Arjuna is able to see this supreme personality of Godhead in his Vishwarupa form. And Sanjay also could see it because of the mercy of Vyasadeva. But everybody else in the battlefield, they are just wondering what is happening, because they don't know what is happening between Lord Krishna and Arjuna in the battlefield at this particular time. Because the conches have been blown and they are all expecting the war will start at any time. So they are just waiting. Okay, Sudha Mataji, go ahead. Text number 14.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Tata sa vismaya visto Krishna Dhananjaya Pranamya Shirasa Devam Kritanjalira Bhashata. Synonyms. Tata, thereafter, Saha, he, Vismaya, Avistha, being overwhelmed with wonder, Krishna Roma, with his bodily hair standing on him due to his great ecstasy, Dhananjaya, Arjuna, Pranamya, offering obeisances, Shirasa, with the head, Devam, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kritanjali, with folded hands, Abhashata, began to speak. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Then, bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisances and with folded hands began to pray to the Supreme Lord. Purport. Once the divine vision is revealed, the relationship between Krishna and Arjuna changes immediately. Before, Krishna and Arjuna had a relationship based on friendship. But here, after the revelation, Arjuna is offering obeisances with great respect and with folded hands, he is praying to Krishna. He is praising the universal form. Thus, Arjuna's relationship becomes one of wonder rather than friendship. Great devotees see Krishna as a reservoir of all relationships. In the scriptures, there are 12 basic kinds of relationships mentioned, and all of them are present in Krishna. It is said that he is the ocean of all the relationships exchanged between two living entities, between the gods, or between the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Here, Arjuna was inspired by the relationship of wonder, and in that wonder, although he was by nature very sober, calm, and quiet, he became ecstatic. His hair stood up, and he began to offer his obeisance unto the Supreme Lord with folded hands. He was not, of course, afraid. He was affected by the wonders of the Supreme Lord. The immediate context is wonder. His natural loving relation to friendship was overwhelmed by wonder, and thus he reacted in this way. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we'll end here. Let's see what Arjuna says by looking at the universal form tomorrow. So, so in this way, whatever is going on in the mind of Arjuna, whatever he is feeling, Prabhupada is actually giving us a live commentary, right? This it's a battlefield. It's going on. The battle between, both the parties have assembled. The Kurus and the Pandavas have assembled in the battlefield, and the conches have also been blown. But then now we see that something is happening between Arjuna and Krishna in one particular chariot. Nobody is able to fathom what is happening. Only Arjuna is able to see, and Arjuna is seeing this universal form of Krishna, and himself is bewildered. He does not know what to make of this form, right? And now what is he going to say is what we will continue tomorrow. So for this week, we will study verses 10.10 and 10.11 and 12. No, and 10.9, 10 we finished. So 10.11 and 10.12 to 13. Tesham evanukampartam aham ajnanajam tamah nashayami atmabhavasto jnanadipena bhashvatah. 10.11, 10.12 to 13. Param brahma parandama pavitram paramam bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Rishihas Sarve Devarishi Nardastata Asito Devalo Vyasaha Swayam Cheva Bravishime. So 10.11 and 10.12 to 13. These three actually verses, because 10.12 and 13 are together, we will study both of them together. So 11, 12, 13 of chapter number 10 are the verses that we will contemplate and meditate for this week. right? Because it also bears a context to what we are studying right now, right? Krishna already knows that, Arjuna already knows that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But yet, he is asking Krishna to show the universal form only to ensure that the people are not bewildered and not anybody and everybody will call themselves God. So that is the only purpose. All right. So let's quickly do Harinam Sankirtan. Devotees can switch on your cameras. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Dinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Medisesha Shunyavadi Paschatyarishatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nitya Nanda Sri Advaita Garadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jai Jagannath Jaya Balodeva Jaya Subhadrama Jaya Sudarshana Jai Bala Gopal Jai Radha Madhav Jai Shri Radha Shyam Sundar Jaya Radha Rasa Bihari Radha Madan Mohan Radha Govinda Radha Gopinath Jai Radhe 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 Shri Radhe Jai Guru Parampara Jai Sadguru Swami Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Guru Deva Jai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol श्रीराम संकीर्तन की जय जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद श्री गुरुदेव की जय पांचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत गुरु वैष्णव वृंद की जय जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय श्री गुरुदेव की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय ओके आई एम एबल टू सी शोभा माताजी कर्पकबली माताजी सर्वगोपेश्वरी माताजी श्रीधर प्रभु Rajneesh Prabhu, Vijayalakshmi Priya Mataji, Nisha Mataji, Shri Priya Mataji, Ramya Mataji, after a long time, hibernation from Antarctica, you have come, huh? After how many months? Thank you for joining. Sudha Mataji and all the devotees, thank you very much for joining in. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai. So who will want to share the verse? 10.11, 12 and 13 verses with the translation and the link of the particular verse. Who can share the verse? Okay, Manasi Mataji. Is it for raising hand for sharing the sloka or what? I have? Oh, you've done to me. All right. Okay, so Shobha Mataji is very, very proactive. Huh? Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai. Anantapuri Vaishnava Binda ki jai. Thank you very much. Meet you all tomorrow morning, 5 o'clock for Brahma Muhurta chanting session. And we expect Ramya Mataji to join us also. Brahma Muhurta chanting. Aaj se, what is it called? auspicious Shuruat, whatever we call it. Okay, all right. So Mansi Mataji can do it next time. Shobha Mataji already done it. And also my sincere gratitude to all the devotees who joined us for the Ekadashi session yesterday. Many devotees, 53 devotees to be very precise, have chanted extra rounds on the auspicious occasion of Nirjala Ekadashi. So I'm just compiling that message. You'll be sending it to His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Shri Guru Maharaj. My sincere gratitude to all of you. When all of you posted so many rounds completed, we all got so inspired by all of your messages that we all could chant. So thank you all very much. My sincere gratitude to all of you. Thank you very much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.